I hope this is, okay, let's go. How do I do this 1 second? All right. There we go. Good. All right. So in order to reveal the essence of God, we have to call from the essence of our soul. That's called the depths. In order to reveal from the depths of God, mimaamakim, we have to awaken the depths of our soul. Let's understand this. How can it be that by means of what we do, we do tshuva, we return to God? How can it be that God reacts and it draws down from the essence of God from above? In order to understand this, how it is that God reacts to what we do, and this is what King David was talking about. Let's first of all precede something. What explains in another Maamar with Taf Reish Tzadik. This is also by the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe. And this was in what the 1898, before 50 years ago. 1890. No, the Rebbe is 1948. That's when he's nine. I'm sorry. Once again, I'm making a big mistake. I'm making a big mistake over here. It's not so. I'm making a big mistake. And 1928. The previous Lubavitcher Rebbe said this in 19, right? Is that right? 1928. No. 1938. 1930. That's not that important, but 1938. He said this Maamar, right before he came to America, a couple of years before he came from America. And this is 50 years ago. The Rebbe was speaking in 1988, and this is 30, right? Anyway, the Rebbe says, Yesh shtei madregot, there are two levels of doing tshuva. There's what's called the topic of tshuva and the essence of tshuva. Now, tshuva means returning to God. Returning to God. Returning to your senses. Like a person that's asleep, he still is alive, but when he wakes up, so he returns to consciousness. Same thing the Jewish people, when they don't feel God, how good God is, so it's like they're asleep. Returning means you return to consciousness, you return to your love and your awe of God. Okay, so he says, in this returning to God, there's two things. There's the nature of it and the essence of it. What's this mean? The nature and the essence. The essence, of course, is the source, and from the essence of the thing comes the nature of it. Let's see. The whole idea of tshuva is that you do tshuva on details, or even on general attitudes. Even though this type of doing tshuva is not necessarily on sins or transgressions or what do you call it? Averos, another word for sins. Nevertheless, the whole idea is she'ola b'avodasa b'tov atzmo. You're coming closer and closer to God. You adjust yourself to be more and more in tune with what God is. That's doing tshuva. It's almost the same thing as like practicing, right? You practice piano, you get better and better and better. Someone can come and say, hey, you're pretty good. Says, yeah, I'm good, but I'm not as good as, the great masters. I want to be, better. You're improving all the time. The same thing is doing tshuva. Doing tshuva means you're doing with your limbs, with your thoughts, with your speech, what God wants, and with your attitude. Your attitude improves. That's also called doing tshuva. You're just becoming better and better. That you increase in wholesomeness of your service of God until your individual service is like it should be and like it's supposed to be. When you pray, you think about the words. You don't think right. You always think good things about people. You always help until that by means of this that you shemashlim, you bring completion to all of your details. You're always in a good mood. You're always positive. Right? Even when negative things happen, you get over it quickly. It's not. You don't remain in a selfish mode all the time. You quickly you can until the whole service is like it should be. But that's what's called the details of tshuva. That's called the nature of tshuva. But the essence of tshuva is mimaamakim shu omed, the place where you are, Bo, the mamado umatzavo, is who you are spiritually. You jump out. You go you totally remove yourself from the past to something new. It's a totally new being. Until it's not connected to what was before that. Huh? I'm thinking of a joke, which is sort of a very sick joke, but I'm thinking about it, if I should tell you this joke or not, but it's really sort of relevant to what we're... Okay, well, I'll think about it. That he goes to a higher place, which is incomparable to what he was before. You can't say that it is upper and lower. Oh, you've really improved in doing this. You really improved. He just becomes a totally different person, a totally different attitude, right? Totally different attitude. It's not relevant that he should lose his temper. It's not relevant that he should become depressed. It becomes a different person. The Lashon Elyon, that when we say that he elevates himself, when we talked before, he gets better and better, this shows that there's a lower level, and he elevated himself. Like we said, the piano player becomes better and better until becomes, which is not the case, Mahuta Tshuva, which is Bedarga, Kazu. This is a level, She'eno Begeder Ve'erech Elyon V'tachton. It's not upper and lower at all. I don't know if I can give you a good example, but this might be a good example. There are some pianists. I'm no big expert, but I've listened to a lot of these. And, they practice. It's the same thing with almost anything in sports. And they practice the same amount of time. And they're all professionals. And they're all very good. But there's just one that is just totally different than everybody else. He plays the same music, the same exact songs, right? Same exact songs, but he's just totally different from everybody else. Everything that he plays, he brings out a whole novelty, as though it's the author that's doing it, but as though it's the composer, that he's the one a totally different type of it. So everybody has, technically, is the same expertise as everybody else. They're all fantastic runs and flourishes and whatever it's called. They can do it and play, notes in 1,000 notes in a minute and a second, whatever. But it's a different thing. Same thing as in sports. There's just certain people that they're just experts, right? Everybody practices the same, but he's what they call a star. In battle, they have a person. He's a hero. This guy's a hero. He gets a medal. Everybody did the same thing, but all of a sudden he jumped out. He became a hero. He became different. She'eno shayach, that he's not relevant at all to what he was before that, until he becomes a new person that's made from nothing whatsoever. He's created a new person from nowhere. Where did he get that from? And by means of that he stands in a way that's incomparable. We're talking about now serving God. All of a sudden he has a new connection to what God is. He realizes what it is. It's not a spiritual thing. It's the essence of the Creator, the essence of the Torah. Then by means of this, he brings about in all of the details and the details of details, that everything becomes fixed up automatically. Hainu shemakivan, that since that he is in a new situation, which is in a way that all of the deeds that he does are good, like we say, tshuva umaisim tovim. The person does tshuva, and that automatically affects everything that he does, so they become good and godly and happy. And that by means of this tshuva, he becomes totally complete. a completeness in good, which is revealed in Yisrael Osim Maisim Tovim. It does good deeds. And that's what it means, Shir HaMalot, mimaamakim. That's what it means, a song of elevation from the depths. I am calling to God. That's what King David said. King David, as high as he was able to become a renewed person constantly. That's what we learned. Remember, that's now in Likutei Torah. Everything is new. By means of this tshuva from the depth of his heart, the depth which is inside of the depth, which this is the essence of tshuva. By means of this, you call, you draw down, and you elicit from above. God reacts to what we do from the depths of God. Until depth like this, which is incomparable at all. A simple example is Abraham. Abraham, that he served God from the depth, the essence of his soul, as he drew down godliness, that to this very day the Jews exist. The Jews exist today by virtue of the deeds and the service of Abraham from the essence of his soul. He drew down a blessing, which that blessing now is inside of and encompassing all of the Jewish people. And everything he did was alone. Nobody saw Abraham go up on the mountain, what he did up there with Yitzchak and all the other tests that he had. He was basically alone. The same thing, there's things that we do alone with God that can change the whole entire world. We don't know. That's the whole essence. Until that it's above any sort of levels of depth. It's the essence of God. And this comes to the lowest of lowest levels, even in time. And in other words, it can be immediate. This will eliminate all of the limitations and reveal the true essence of God below. That's the idea of Moshiach. Moshiach coming and revealing the true essence of every Jew. And by means of that, the true essence of God will be revealed. And even more, that's what the Maimorim are. The Maimorim that we're reading, they're written by the Moshiach of every generation, is the Chabad rabbi of every generation. And they're revealing the essence of every Jew, and that in turn causes God to react and fill the world with the awareness of God. And even more, the problem is when it's going to happen, but it should, unexplainable, that it's not relevant even high and low. Everything is one. And you can see this very clearly. I don't know if you saw it. There's this video that was going around. They call it viral. Of there's a lot of Jews that are protesting for Palestine. The Palestinians. They're pro Hamas, right? Pro Hamas, and obviously they don't know anything about the Hamas, but they do know for some reason that the Jews are bad. It's not bad. They're Jews themselves. So they made a big march in New York. And the Chabad boys, I even know some of them, Chabad boys, they went and asked him, you want to put on tefillin? He said, oh yeah, sure. And he put on tefillin. He just likes to do, this guy likes to do wild things, and he has no identity. The Palestinians fight for a cause. I say rebel without a cause. A cause is Palestine, the poor people, they're suffering, the Palestinians. Said, you want to put on tefillin? Oh yeah, sure, 100%, yeah, for 100%, right? Why? Because there's no difference between high and low. Here's a Jew doing the lowest thing possible. The lowest thing possible. He's supporting the Hamas, murderers, rapists, cruel people that never in their history ever did anything good for anybody. Never. And they went and they raped and they killed helpless people, babies, children. They want to do it again. They were all rejoicing. Everybody in Gaza was rejoicing, right? That's the goal, to destroy. And here we got Jews supporting them. There can't be anything lower and more stupid than that. And this Jew that's supporting them, he wants to put on tefillin. That there's no high and there's no low. This makes this, and how does this arise? Because the depth of every Jew arouses that depth from above, and it becomes one thing. That's what King David said, mimaamakim kotich, I call you from the depths, that the Jewish people and God will be one. All right, what's the bad joke I wanted to tell you? I'll tell you the joke, which you can ignore this if you want to, but I think, what are we saying? That there's two types of tshuva. One is you just change your attitude and you change your deeds and you change your this, and little by little you change. And the other one is you just become a different person. Become a different person. Okay. Sick joke. A person passes away and they take him to the funeral home, and the family comes there all morning and they show the immediate family, his sons, they show the body is in a casket. They wanted the caretaker, undertaker wants to show what a good job that he did. He comes and the family comes in. They said, "Hey, what's this?" They said, "What's wrong?" He says, "This is our father. It's in the agreement between us that you're going to bury him with white garments. Those are black garments. What's this? White garments. We wanted white garments. It's in the contract between us. We'll sue." He says, no, don't worry. I'll take care of it. What are you going to take care of it? In another 5 minutes, all the people are going to come, and they're going to come. We have to take out the. How are you going to take care of it? We don't want to keep people waiting, right? And there are already people sitting out there waiting. We want to take out the casket now. And says, "Listen, just do me a favor. Give me 3 minutes. There's just someone came in now. We have another body in the other room, and we put on him the white garments. With the white garments, we'll fix it up. We'll fix it up. We made a mistake. We put the black garments on your father and the white garments on him, and we'll fix the thing up. Just everybody go outside. Everybody goes outside. Even the how do you say the helper of the undertaker, right? He goes and he's comforting the people out. Sure enough, 3 minutes later, they take the man out and he's dressed in white. They changed his car. And everybody says, "Oh," and they're crying, and they take him and they bury him. The helper of the caretaker said, "Man, how did you do that so quickly? How did you change the clothes from that person to white and put them on this way?" So I didn't change them. I just changed the heads. Sick joke. I just changed the heads. I took the head over this and put the head over there so that, the bodies were the same, but the head is different. Okay, why does this got to do anything with what we're talking about? The essence of tshuva is you change your head. You change who you are. And the body is automatic. The body, it says, according to, especially the garments, that's your thought, speech, and action. You change your head, the thought, speech, and action has changed. And I mean, the metaphor is not exactly an exact one, but it's just showing that it's a pretty sick joke, but it's just showing the idea that what the Rebbe wants, of course, here we're talking about in life, but you can change your head, you can change your soul, that it automatically, your deeds and your actions, your whole, how do they call it, your paradigms in life, change so that God is, you realize he's creating me and he wants what's good for me. So I should think about myself, but I should think about myself second. The first thing I think about is God and the Torah. And when I jump, that's called tshuva. That's the essence of tshuva. I jump, that comes from a level which is above my depths. This is the true depth of a person that arouses the depth of God to make the whole entire world a better place. Now let's have sorry if I offended anybody with that joke.